This is Urdizzle back at Oak Hill for part 2 of my 12 course run through, commonly known as the All Kill for Disc Golf Valley. So we're going to play all 12 courses straight through, no grinding, no restarts, it just is what it is. And so you see my bag on the screen. If you want to see an extended in the bag, you can watch the first video in the series. I started off reasonably well on Sunshine and Blueberry in video 1. I shot a 7 under on Sunshine, so I had the ace and the eagle on hole 5. And then Blueberry, I did not get the par 4, but I was able to get an ace, so I shot a 10 under. So starting off on Oak Hill, hole 1, that was definitely not the shot I was looking for. With that wind, I was kind of forced to play the wide route, and that is not the start I wanted. So even from 96 feet, that should have been in there, but that wind to 3 kind of messed up my tee shot and almost kicked that one back out too. So birdie to start, definitely not the start I wanted on Oak Hill, knowing that there's some good scoring possibility here. All right, hole 2, and by the way, hole 1, I did throw a glide skip Ballista Pro for distance. Hole 2 here with a cross tailwind, I just threw my fuse. That's a pretty easy birdie. Again, I'm not ace running anything because with that wind, you can easily go long in OB. Hole 3, you've got a crosswind to 3, so this is pretty favorable. Unfortunately, I want to get really close because that wind to 3 does make the throw-ins a little harder to do. And that's a pretty good shot. It should be within about 80, 90, 72, even closer. That headwind, though, that's going to cause a little issues. And, oh, the awful kick out. Boy, this is just not a good start on Oak Hill. That was a pretty good shot, but that was a little high on the chains. So, unfortunately, I did not do what I needed to do. Hole 4 here. I do have a very, very favorable wind, so I will be a little upset if I'm not up there. In fact, I'd really like to be in putting range. Big skip. Yeah, there we go. And honestly, if you've got a tailwind to 3, you need to be up here putting. Otherwise, you were not using the correct disc or did not throw a good shot. So I did get that one there, but I'm definitely a little disappointed not getting the first 2 par 4s. Same with this one. This is pretty much a gimme. I'll throw my wind glide ballista. And I like to play it wide right in most winds and just let it kind of fade back in. That's a pretty easy shot. Again, I'm not trying to park this hole. 65, I kind of prefer a putt. And that's a little out of putt range, and I'm going to try it. Yeah, that was not smart. So that is 3 holes I've missed. I probably should have thrown that one in, but that 65 feet is right. I mean, you can kind of see there. That's on the high end of my putting range. So I probably should have thrown that in. And very disappointed not to get that one. I think that's probably the easiest of the par 4s in the game and on this course. So hole 6, I decided to get a little aggressive and go for that. And so right now this is an awful start. I've got to hit this now for birdie, which I did. But I've missed 4 of the par 4s. So that is just not a good start at all. So I pretty much from here on out have to throw perfect golf. I cannot miss any of these. So hole 7 here, I'm throwing the recoil. Again, I've got to get this one. That should be, miss the rock and we should be perfect. Excellent. So we will get the eagle on this one. But yeah, this is the kind of thing too, like if I was playing for score, I would probably restart because that's just not a good start here, but that is not what we're doing on here. All right, hole 8, that is a tough wind of 3. So I'm actually going to go forehand here. And I've been using the forehand line with the glide skip Ballista Pro, and that's going to be way down there. This is not good. So this is a tough shot, but I've got to make this one. And wow, that was awful. Let's see what this shot looks like. Oh, that is an awful shot. I'm gonna rethrow that one. See if we can hit this one. Whew, that's what the first one should have been. So that's 5. I mean, I've basically given away 5 strokes now. My best rounds, I've gotten a 17 under here, but 16 unders if you get all the par 4s and birdie the par 3s. But that's a pretty bad round. That is definitely not what I was looking for in this. But again, this is part of the process. You know, playing these longer rounds, 12 rounds in a row, you can't restart. You just got to go with the flow, and it's a good test of your mental health and ability to deal with adversity, which a lot of people do not do a very good job of. So as we shift over to Lakeside, I think that's one of the things that I've kind of developed over the years of playing disc golf in real life and playing this game for over a year, is kind of dealing with that adversity and not getting flustered, and having missed shots kind of put you on tilt, and then you start doing things that are kind of against what you would normally do. Just kind of stick to your plan and do what you need to do. So hole 1, that was just pretty standard. I'm not ace running that. Hole 2 here, I'm going to throw my Wind Glide Ballista, which fights through that 3 headwind like nothing. Skips right up there. That's pretty easy stuff. I'll sometimes throw a 4-hand Light Glide Ballista Pro, depending on the wind, but this pretty easy par 4 in most winds. Hole 3, and I've got a cross tailwind, so I'm actually going to go fuse on this one. Again, I'm not ace running. This is where you got to play things a little safe, especially with that wind of 3. And I know that looks like it's short, but it's 21 feet. There's no reason you should miss that. That's kind of the conservative play. Other than that, hole 6 on Oak Hill, where I decided to go for it, I've been playing pretty conservatively. Hole 4, the albatross hole, this is a must get, especially with the tailwind of 1. And this is another one of those where I'm playing a little more conservatively. I don't mind being out here to the left. I just didn't want to go to the right and possibly leave it short or kick way out there. But 111 feet is not... Yeah, that was a little further than I was wanting to be. Ideally, I'd like to be in the 60, 70-foot range, but I was still able to get the albatross. And hole 5. So wind to 1, this is one where a lot of people play for birdie. I'm pretty comfortable with the river shot, as long as there's not any strong winds. So I'm going to go for this one. We're going to go for the river, kind of aim a little lower and a little left and let it fade in. I can hit this one, not consistently, but see, that was a pretty good shot. I had the height dialed in. It was just a little to the left, but I can hit that one out of 4, 1 out of 5 with a wind of 1. Now, if you get a wind of 2 or 3, that makes things a little more dangerous if you go too long, but I don't mind running that one. Then hole 6, again, I am not running this. This is, if anybody wants to know why I have a compass in the bag, this is one of the holes. So I use it on Grizzly hole 1 with strong winds, and I just like it here. My fuse is a little unpredictable because it's more of a straight disc, and I don't like throwing the river or the Explorer because if you miss, you can very easily go long. So that's, again, the more conservative play. Hole 7, this is another one where you can go river, 4-hand, but I just go fuse. Again, there's another good example where you don't have to go right at the pin. Just throw it out here, give yourself a 43-foot putt. And if you're in the upper echelon of players, like, you are not going to miss a 43-foot putt in a semi-neutral wind, which I would say 1 or 2. All right, hole 8, this is the one I was a little worried about. Pretty strong wind, and whew, I actually thought that was going to be short, but that wind really carried. That was an accurate windbreak river 4-hand, which is what I usually use there. But that wind to 3 wanted to kind of carry along. All right, hole 9. This is another one where, depending on where I am on this first shot with the 4-hand river, I'm probably going to go for it. I'm okay with the birdie here. I know most people are like, must get an eagle, must get an eagle. This is not a pro tour. It's not a multiplayer. It's not like a must get, but I am going to go for the eagle. And that is most definitely not going to do it. Just hit land. Whew. Yeah, that was water right out of the hand. I have noticed the Ballista Pros, so I'm just going to throw this in. That's pretty easy stuff. I have noticed the Ballista Pros are a little more unpredictable. Overall, I'm not unhappy with a 12 under on that one. That's pretty solid. So 4 rounds in, we got the 7 under on Sunshine, 10 on Blueberry, and then pretty disappointing round on Oak Hill, not going to lie. A lot of shots I would love to have back, and then a pretty solid round on Lakeside. So that is it for video 2. Coming up next, we've got video 3 with Windswept Fields and Harrowing Woods. So we'll see you then.